everybody, Sean McInnes and Carolyn Pettit here, and hopefully you've had a chance to read my Grand Theft Auto Online preview that just hit the site today, alongside the interview with Leslie Benzies that I did, the head of Rockstar North. It was a very rare opportunity for me to actually go and visit the studio. It was really cool. I had a lot of fun. But Caro, I imagine that despite that preview being about 2,000 words long, there's probably a lot of folks out there who read it and still have questions.
And you know what, Sean? I am one of those people. Well, I am here to grill you about Grand Theft Auto Online because I am super excited about it. It sounds so amazing, but I want even more information than you have already given me.
Well, it's a good thing we're here at the information podium, the only place in the GameSpot office where we talk about information.
Well, let's exchange some information then.
Perfect.
Oh, all right. So you kind of start off your piece talking about this scenario where some people have just completed a heist, and one of the people maybe like runs off with the money, which you totally know is going to happen. I mean, it happens in crime movies all the time. That people don't share the cut evenly. So, and you say that like you can kind of go after them yourselves, or you can hire a hitman to do it for you. Now, couple of questions about like how that works. Like, is that an NPC kind of hitman, or is that like contract work for other players?
Sure.
You need to better representate yourself. You know what I'm talking about?
So there's a system in the game. So there's sort of two progression units in the game. There's basically cold hard cash, which is what you buy stuff with, and then there's RP, reputation points, which is sort of the XP level in the game. As you gather more and more reputation points, you meet more contacts.
Okay.
And those contacts will be able to do favors for you.
Okay.
So, you've got guys who, you can hire hitmen who you can call up on your phone in the game, put out a hit on that guy, and they'll go and take that guy out. And whatever money he had on him at the time, you can go pick it up from his dead body. That's your money now. You can cancel that out by taking your money and putting it into your bank account.
Okay.
But like whatever cash people have on them, you can just snatch it away from the dead body. So that's one of the things. As you sort of like progress through that RP system, you'll be able to call in bigger and bigger favors until you get to the point where you can call in these private military contractors who can just drop in airstrikes, whether you're free roaming,
overkill, but
or like even in team deathmatch,
whatever gets the job done.
Yeah. So there's all that sort of like all these favors that you can call in, and you start off by like talking to these characters who actually exist within both Grand Theft Auto Online and the GTA 5 storyline.
Okay.
Welcome to paradise. That was awkward.
The question that I have, I didn't get to see a whole lot of that stuff in action, is like how quick that interface is going to be for like pulling out your phone, calling a guy. I'm hoping that you don't have to like, there's like a virtual BlackBerry that you hold up in your hand and you're just scrolling through. All right, where's my hitman? H for hitman. Here we go. Oh no, he's busy. He's busy. Because like in the heat of the moment, you want that to be instantaneous.
Stuff to get done.
So yeah, that's kind of the thing that I'll be curious about.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So you talk about these big, elaborate kind of set-piece heists, like one that sounds pretty amazing where you have to steal like a military cargo plane and stuff. But you also mentioned how you can just like play golf if you want to.
Yep.
So, I think you've written about how in the single-player game, the world will just be filled with activities that you can do. Like, did you get the sense, is all of that stuff pretty much going to be available? Can you just do an impromptu hunting trip if you want? Can you go scuba diving with friends if you want to? Can you just partake in the pleasures that the world has to offer?
I mean, so when you're free roaming in the game, free roaming sessions by default it's gonna be 16 different players, right? And like I mentioned in the review, it doesn't work quite the same way as like a lot of those next-gen multiplayer games we saw at E3. Games like The Crew, Destiny, The Division, where as you move throughout the open world, it kind of like seamlessly drops in new players who are close to you. It doesn't do that, but the game does do a lot of things to kind of like make sure that you guys are matched together. So, you finish a mission, and they'll make sure that the people you are in that mission with are in the next free roaming session with you. And like when you jump into GTA Online, it'll make sure that the people who, like other players who are around you in a given area, are part of your free roaming session. So it does little things to like populate the world like that. And then in terms like the missions that you guys can go out and do, like I said, you've got like the smaller stuff, golf, bike races, all those kinds of things.
Sure.
I don't know if it's like I don't know if there's a direct one-to-one correlation between missions that exist in GTA 5 and missions that exist in the GTA Online. I do know that they are purpose-built for GTA Online, so I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that it's not the same heists from the storyline of the game in GTA Online.
Stuff that's going to take advantage of, you know, multiplayer dynamics.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. They said they threw out the number like around 500 missions unique to multiplayer.
Wow.
And that's going to grow over time.
Right, because there's also going to be user-generated content options.
Yeah, and that's kind of where things get really interesting. Talking to those guys, you really get the sense that they're trying to build this into its own separate thing.
Right.
They mentioned it's got a separate development schedule, a separate development timeline. That's why it's coming out a couple weeks later than GTA 5.
Yeah.
If you can wait.
I mean, it's going to be hard, and they're not exactly helping, I don't think, by having that huge countdown timer or whatever that you mentioned in your piece about it. That's just going to be reminding you how much longer you have to wait.
Yeah, and it's funny because at the very beginning you can see the overlap here. You know, it's like they both take place within the same game world.
Right.
You're doing heist missions. You're like, okay, but so this just sounds like, you know, maybe conceivably it's just, you know, 16-player GTA 5. But talking to them, like I asked Leslie Benzies, like, why was it important for you guys to do a separate thing, call it GTA Online, not call it GTA 5 multiplayer?
Right.
And he told me it gives them the creativity to build this into its own thing, so you don't have the sort of like, you know, the constraints of following what people think a GTA 5 should be.
Totally.
Yeah, so you get the sense that these guys are trying to spin this off into something else altogether. They're not completely ruling out the potential to, you know, release this as its own standalone game down the line, where, you know, you just pay for GTA Online.
Sure.
They're not ruling that out at all.
Conceivably, it could come to encompass other cities, or who knows, potentially.
Yeah. So that's one of the things that sounds cool about it.
One of the really exciting possibilities here in Grand Theft Auto Online is the user-generated content stuff. Did you get a sense of kind of how elaborate or how robust those tools are going to be? Like, can a person plan, you know, multi-stage kind of heist missions, or is it just kind of more like checkpoint races kind of thing? Like, how involved is that stuff going to be?
Yeah, that's one of those things that I get the sense that's going to be the area where GTA Online grows the most over time. Because right off the bat, the user-generated content stuff is you basically create your own forms of like races and death matches and stuff like that. You create your own, you know, rules and parameters and settings and all that. But talking to those guys, their goal is to really flesh out the tools so that you can create your own sort of like emergent activities. Like, I told him that one of my favorite things to do in GTA 4 were these pirate fights where you're out on the water and you just have a guy who's like riding around in a boat and he's the king of the hill, and you have like other players coming along trying to kill him, get on his boat, and then you win the pirate contest.
And you can make that an actual like mode in this.
That's, I mean, I pitched the idea to Leslie Benzies. I don't know if he liked that mode per se, but he said, yeah, that's the hope, is to have people create their own sort of like weird, emergent stuff that would never exist in GTA Online were we to come up with those ideas.
Totally.
So that kind of stuff is not going to be there at the beginning, but as they flesh out the tools and kind of like add more sort of options to them, that it seems like that's the goal that they're aiming for down the line. So knowing, like, my hope is that there's going to be like this crazy kind of like Little Big Planet, you know, creation community out there who's just making absolutely ridiculous modes and stuff like that. And you will be able to upload them, share them to Rockstar Social Network, I think. Is what their social network is called. And
Social Club.
Social Club. Rockstar Social Club. Not Rockstar Social Network.
No.
So I'd imagine there's going to be a pretty thriving community of like really big celebrity like mode creators out there. So so that's kind of like in wait and see mode. They're hoping to build that stuff out, but it's going to be, you know, at the outset, it's going to be, you know, relatively straightforward.
Well, Sean, that's just about all the questions that I have, but I imagine that there are people out there watching who have a lot of questions that I haven't even come up with. What should they do if they want to get more information out of you?
Feel free to ask questions in the comments of this video, or if you want to hit me up directly on Twitter, it's username @smckinnis, and I'll do my best to answer those for you as quickly as I can. But until then, thanks a lot for watching, and make sure to check out our GTA Online coverage if you haven't already.